What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It feels good to not have to cut any grass today. So, since I mentioned it yesterday, we're going to go ahead and try to clean the wheels on this van. Now, I know this is going to be an incredibly boring video, but I am going to take this opportunity to just kind of run my mouth and talk for a while. Hopefully, this won't take too terribly long and we won't be, I don't know, running in circles with vocabulary stuff. Anyway, you see, this is all super duper caked on, and it's, man, I scrubbed the hell out of that wheel, but I ran out of brake dust oriented cleaners, and the Purple Power, for whatever reason, just wasn't cutting through it, and I was out of brake cleaner. I was out of everything. So, like I've said before, this is the minivan. I traded my 4Motion Passat with the manual transmission, a very, very, very rare combo for this van. And basically, it's a very clean van. It's got some high mileage on it, but in my opinion, and this is something that I kind of live by, if you find a vehicle, especially a common vehicle, that has high mileage and somebody took decent care of, the chances are that it is one of the winners, and it is here for the long run, if you get where I'm coming from. A lot of these vehicles, you know, especially newer vehicles like Hyundais and stuff, where am I going to put you guys? I don't know where I'm going to put you guys, but I need to go ahead and start doing something. What's that look like? Like shit. I love it. So basically, all these new vehicles, especially Hyundais, they're just dying left and right. And it is kind of wild to think what all these manufacturers are getting away from, or getting away with, as far as a passable vehicle. Like, it's, that looks pretty far off. I'm gonna move this to the other side. We're gonna change it up. You know what? I got an even better idea. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go find a bucket. We're gonna bring a bucket over here. Actually, you know what? One of them egg crates would be perfect. Milk crate, whatever. I don't care. It's one of them. We'll just grab this bad boy here. Although probably should grab the one that has less holes on it. But all these new vehicles, just dropping engines, randomly sitting on the highway, cruising at, you know, highway speeds, not even trying to be excessive in any way. Hey, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and ask for forgiveness, because this is going to be a boring one. But there's a few things I kind of wanted to talk about. Let's see if I can get comfortable. I haven't quite recovered where I can be on my knees and bend my leg like a crouch position. It's kind of tough. Anyway, we can sit Indian style. That seems to be fine for now. I am a big fan of the Armor All tire cleaner. This is one of those ones that foams up automatically. I'm not super keen on wanting to foam it too bad, although that seems to be less foamy than before. I got a couple of different brushes just for whatever's, and I don't actually think that these are going to do very good, but I'm going to give them a shot, hoping that having the right tire cleaning chemicals will be able to, you know, get somewhere with it. Because this, if I don't have to buy a set of wheels and tires for this thing the moment I register it, then I really don't want to, because the tires on this thing really aren't in too bad a shape. But it, I don't know, just brake dust looks bad. I've always been a fan of clean wheels. You can have the worst, most awful paint, clear coat, chip, peeling, whatever you want. As long as it has clean, super nice, stancy wheels on it, it's gonna look a whole lot better than a lot of other things, just right out the gate. Wheels, in my opinion, really do make the car. Anyway, I wanted to talk about why I decided to throw in the hat on the Passat. Because I know a lot of people, they get to a point to where, especially me at the beginning of it, I was kind of stubborn, because I'm like, all right, well, I've had this done, I've done this, and I've done it all, and blah, 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 and it should be working fine, and then it's just not working fine. So, I got to a point to where, number one, I don't have the capability to tune or, remap my ECM in any way. Just don't have it. I wish it did, and if I ever am in a room where people are talking about it's up for sale, then I'm definitely going to be on the list of trying to get it. But the long and short of it is, it's thousands of dollars to get into a point where you can do flash tunes, and even then you still have to pay for the maps and do all this other stuff from what I'm to understand, and unless you're doing custom tunes, which, I would love to learn how to do, but keyword being learn how to do. I don't know anything about it, and as an introductory enthusiast, all I'm doing is fraying the bristles. I don't think that's going to do as much as I want it to do. So, hang on, let me go grab a different brush. That wasn't too long, was it? Alrighty. So, anyway, my main thing is, like I said, I don't have any kind of way to modify the software, the tune, to do anything. I have VCDS, which is an excellent diagnostic tool, but it's not the same as a tuning software. So that's number one. All of my problems with the car not making boost actually happened. Yeah, see, that sounds like it's got a bit more scrub to it. There we go. I don't really care if I scratch the wheel too much. Yeah, see, now we're getting some good scrape to it. I can see that it's browning up pretty good. Yeah, I just want to try and pre-soak as much of these as I can. That way when I get to them, it's kind of maybe loosened it up a little bit, I guess. I doubt it. Yeah. Two is that without going into spending money that I probably don't need to spend, I'm not going to be able to diagnose much more. My money situation's not bad. We afford our bills here, all fine, no big deal. Especially considering, my sickness and stuff. We've been really fortunate to handle it just fine. Everything's good, but the extra of just pissing money away to try and find out if this car is, or if this part is good or bad, that's not going to work. So, not having unlimited resources to just dump into the car, it makes better financial sense. Instead of spending, $300, $400, $500 in parts potentially, another $500 in a remap that might not work or something, I'm just going to spend $175 and $30-$40 in fuel, and I'm just going to go let a professional try to figure out what's going on with it. I think that's the better option, the smarter, wiser investment financially. Golly, dang, this stuff is so caked on. Like, I know y'all can hear that scrub. That's so just... Why does anybody let their wheel get this bad? Like, I get it, you're not a car person, but just go to the car wash every now and again. Pre-soak your rims before you go in there. And you'd be surprised how much more extra stuff comes off. I used to be out at the Auto Bell. Or no, Freedom Wash, not Auto Bell, my bad. I was thinking about Auto Bell, because that was for a little while, like one of the first ones in the area that offered some kind of a membership for washes and stuff. I see, even the small stuff here is just... just the worst to get off. But Freedom Wash, we used to do our car meets there, and I'd be out in the parking lot talking to people, and I'd go through the automated thing before we left, but about 10 minutes before I'd leave, 5 minutes before we'd leave, I'd pull a spray bottle out, you know, similar to the Armor All stuff. I think it was Mother's back in the day. It was the wheel cleaner I used to use. I don't even remember what it was. I just remember it was a red bottle. Could have been Meguiar's back when they were still using their darker red bottles. But anyway, I'd pre-soak my wheels and then send it through the, you know, the automated stuff. Just go through the rollers. And, man, the wheels come out pearly every time. I didn't have to put no work into any of it. It was great. I loved it. But anyway, I want to get this thing as clean as I can possibly get it, because I've had the thought process that if I go ahead and tighten up all the mechanical bits and bobs on this, I'm going to go ahead and post it up on Facebook Marketplace and just put the feelers out there on it and see if anybody wants to come up to the money I want for it. Because I think I'm going to put it up for $4,000 or best offer, and I justify that because the interior in this thing's clean. There's only a few missing panels that I intend on going and finding. There's lots of these in the junkyard all over the place, so it's not actually that difficult to find stuff like that plastic side trim panel on the side of the driver's seat. That thing catches my leg just about every time I get out now, and it's all ripped and floppy, and I'm probably going to tear it off, but I want to get another one, fix it appropriately before I, you know, go ripping it all the way off for good. Make sure I've got a replacement for it first, because I might end up having to just do some kind of weird stuff where I drill a small hole and use a zip tie on the back side of it to bring it in. Come on, spiders, get off me. I can't stand bugs. I'll sit out here and I'll deal with them because I need to get this done, but I hate bugs. So annoying. I truly find it so hard to believe that this stuff is just this bad. I tried the power wand on it. I've And the bad part is it's happening so slowly that I really can't tell if it's any better or worse. And then there was, the last reason was the time. You guys that watch my videos and keep up with my posts and stuff, Grand Pito Vic, Never Done Project, Randy and Randy, you know, possibly Daryl from Metal Art, I don't know, maybe you've seen some of my stuff. I know I've told Adam that I make videos, but I don't know that I've ever seen him comment on anything. But anyway, if you guys have watched all my other videos about the Passat, then you know I put a pretty good amount of time into that thing, and I've yielded no result, no culpable direction to point towards to say, hey, this might be the real issue. Because, like I said, putting that ECM from the other car in there and it making communication, that shows that the ECM's at least not bad, but somehow the code from the previous ECM stayed. And I'd find it hard to believe that I'd have two cars with the same ECM that would have the same problem in my yard. Like, it's possible, because there is some small amounts of corrosion in the gold car ECM that I was using. And again, like I said, I understand that I'm not necessarily immobilizing or immobilizer defeating it, so I can't run the car to confirm anything that I'm doing. But to see the same code set across two different ECMs, and then get the weirdness that I was getting from the other parts ECM, that spare one that I bought that ended up being a waste. I do think this is coming a little cleaner. But anyway, all that time I invested, all those, like, the videos were pretty long, but like there's a lot of off-camera stuff where I just kept on trucking when I closed out the video, because in my opinion it was probably too boring to record it, or I didn't have anything worthwhile to say anymore, and you know, for whatever reason. Point is, I put 10s, 20, 30s of hours into that thing, and no result. No change in anything. No difference in running or not running. And it was just like, alright, well, if you think about, even if I was making minimum wage, which I think is like $8.50 around here, might be $9 now, I don't remember what it is, and I'm not going to Google it to find out. But anyway, the point is, if you looked at even minimum wage, how much I would have, you know, been paid to work a job with this many hours, it's a ridiculous amount of time and money lost by investing it in something that I haven't fixed. So that's the long and short of it. The Passat got to a point where I just can't, without investing other money to better equip myself with, you know, pretty exclusive softwares, and you know, be willing and able to learn an entirely new language on a computer that I barely already know how to navigate, because I'm not a computer person. I'm not tech savvy at all. But it just made better sense to go ahead and spend $200 roughly. Might as well say $200 after fuel, to go ahead and just get somebody who has those capabilities, who has better experience. See, my thing is, I'm like mid-grade mechanically inclined. I could work at a service shop, and I could probably bumble my way through most problems. Like, if a car comes in with a dead battery and no start scenario, yeah, I can test a battery. Like, I can do all that dumb shit. I can do basics, but when it comes to like deep diving and wiring and software and all that, I can't do it. So that's why I say I'm like a mid-grade technician, tops. But this is all like based on a skill ability. Like, I can work on lots of things, but the real problem is I can't make up for the experience that I'm not getting by not being and having not been an active mechanic for a living for the last handful of years. I can Google all I want, and I can replicate, and I can follow directions, but the problem is I don't know this vehicle that well, because I wasn't here for it, right? Like, it's a 2002 car. I didn't start working at Volkswagen as a technician until 2010. So like, that car was already 8 years old by the time I became a tech. And you guys know what dealer life is like. You do work on a handful of, you know, older prior models, because there are some diehard dedicated customers to the dealers they bought their cars from. But the long and short of it is, there's not a lot, you know, of those older vehicles. So the predominant experience that I got, believe it or not, was Mark 5s, and then the Mark 6 Jettas when they had first come out, and the B6 Passat. So like, that was the first years of the 2.0T really, and the TSI had just come out, and like there's a lot of stuff that I missed on the Mark IV, you know, B5 line. I just wasn't there when those cars were new, and so I never got to learn, never got the experience, don't know how this connects to that really. And when you can't find good literature on what you're doing, you do end up just pissing in the dark. And when you combine that with me already lacking in skill with electrical stuff, like I can bumble my way through a handful of diagnostics. Like I can check continuity, I know what resistance is, like I know some of the basics. I'm not absolutely out back with no idea of what's going on. Like I get the general basics, but like I don't know, I guess I have that like intimidated mindset, because for me, wiring, I always refer to it as the forbidden spaghetti. Like, it is not something that I've ever had very much experience with, and because I have such a lack of experience with it, I just don't know what to do and what directions to go. So, in the effort to try and actually have my car work the way I want it to work, even remotely, I'm taking it to a professional. If he can at least tell me, hey, go buy this or do this, and like you've got a shot at it, okay, cool. I'll go give that a shot and see what happens. And I'm still even willing to like sink money into it if we can figure out what's going on. Oh, God. I know that this is slow going, but we are getting there. It is slowly but steadily getting clean. Like, I can definitely tell now. I can see bits and pieces of it that are just not there anymore. There's a lot of silver left now. I wonder how bad it's scratching it up. I wonder how hazy it's going to look after it's all said and done. But that just means with enough elbow grease, you can make anything look pretty decent. Like, obviously, this texture here where the paint's lifting and there may be aluminum corrosion behind there, I can't do anything about that, but I can do stuff about this, apparently. And so that's where putting in this little bit of elbow grease really does just make the difference. Sometimes it just takes doing, and I hate that about myself. I get defeated real easy. Because you see, man, you've seen me walk around here, you see all the stuff in the background. Every item that's in this yard, I had, at some point, some kind of a fucking plan for it. And all of that stuff kind of rides in my head in the back seat all the time, like a bunch of kids just kind of screaming. Like, I know they're back there, and I know that by their screaming, they're breathing. You know, the ideas are still real, they're still there. But the chaos of, you know, upwards of 100 children, let's say like a charter bus on a field trip. You get all them kids in there screaming and hollering and yelling and fucking getting in trouble and all the stuff that kids do. That's in my head, and that's what it's like to fight my ideas and try to actually make progress. Like, it kills me, believe it or not, to sit here and slowly scrub away at this, because I know that there are dozens of other things that I need to get at. Yeah, look at that. We're almost completely done with this section. I pulled that guy. I don't know if y'all saw that Toyota that drove by. He got stuck down the road. Amanda was coming up out of the low end of the road down there to leave. Had to work one morning, and it was raining a little bit, and he went a little too far to the right to give her room, and he ended up putting his tire just barely off the road. Because it's a two-wheel drive truck and it was raining and it was on a hill, it didn't have no traction. So I went down there and yanked him out real quick, no big deal. I like my local city guys. They've helped me a handful of times. I have nothing but love for all of the local city men. Anybody in Gates County, you guys working for the city, you know which house I live at. If you're seeing this, you've seen my yard, you've driven past on your way down Honeypot, you know. one of them things. Look at this. We are so close to having enough of this one clean to call it. And we can move on to the others. Really not looking forward to trying to mess with that damn valve stem, just because valve stem like sucks. Can you hear it? The scraping when I get across the brake dust. It's so ridiculous. I know I keep talking about that, I keep mentioning it, but it's just because even at such a small amount, it's like, golly. Look at that. Anyway, so some other stuff I wanted to talk about was the cleanup. I know I keep posting these cleanup videos here and there, and it's probably boring as hell. So man, everybody who watches those and sticks through to the end, thank you. It's what I've got to show. You guys, I know I've been pretty transparent about showing everybody the mess that is my barn. I'm not ashamed. Like I said, that's the course of me working on multiple things and then not putting tools up in between jobs, not taking the time to put everything away and reset, and that's, you know, that's my fault. It happens. And then you add the fact that I got sick last year and ended up having to have that surgery at the beginning of this year, and I was down for 2.5 months. You know, everything just sat out here and piled up even worse. So the cleanup that should have happened months ago, never happened. And so me being in that chair, not being able to come out here and clean stuff, didn't mean that I wasn't trying to make other things happen. Like, we were still ordering parts for the Beetle. We were still getting stuff ready for that. We have other things that are going on in the background. I still had, you know, an inflow of things that needed to be taken care of that I just couldn't, even though we were getting it there, I couldn't actually do anything about it being there. Or here, rather. But I don't know. The cleanup's happening here and there as I can, because I've still got to balance trying to do some of the stuff that I've told people I would do. Wish I could get into commercial cleaners. I bet you there's a cleaner out there that some professional is watching me do this, watching me mar up the hell out of my wheel. Although I don't actually see any scratches while we're really bullshitting. Like, taking a while, but it is coming clean. Although, I tell you what, that little bit right down here in the corner is annoying the piss out of me. I just want this littlest bit to go away. Just like this last little bit up in here, it's all just holding on by the last threads that it can. It's like, no, don't let me go, don't let me down. It's like, no, hell no, get off my wheel. I got shit to do. So close. Buddy, it's just, oh, I got it with my fingernail. Hell yeah, I'll take it. That's right. I mean, obviously I haven't done this outer lip. Oh, can I? You guys. It's flicking off with my fingernail. That's hilarious. I mean, badass fingernail, I guess. Look at that. Yeah. I always trust the fingernail. I know everybody's always like, why is your fingernail so long? Well, dumb shit like that. I'd like to get all the wheels done today if I can. This thing's taking a while. I don't think I'm going to bring you along for all of the wheels. I'll probably do this one a little bit longer, and then I'm going to pause the video and then put the phone on charge in the background or something. That way I can not bore you too bad. I wanted to get most of my talking out of the way, but I also don't want to sit here on the same wheel for 15 years. So I don't really have a whole lot to add to anything else. I mean, I guess I'll talk about, you know, me slowing down on my posting. Part of that is having to cut the grass. Going after the yard and doing what I do in the yard takes time, and it takes the energy out of me because you know, you saw the mower. It doesn't have a roof topper or anything like that. There's no ceiling. I need to do something and make like some arms and extend a little. Even if I just put like a really heavy duty like beach umbrella on it, I think that would probably help out a bunch, if I'm being honest. But anyway, the whole long and short of it is, everybody on here has been in the sun before. Everybody on here knows what it's like to be in the sun. Well, when you're rolling back and forth and you're baking in the sun the whole time, and you see how tan I am right now, and I'm sitting here in the sun, and all I'm doing is scrubbing around. It's not even 80 degrees yet, and I'm already sweating bullets. And granted, I'm putting out some effort, but I'm not putting out that much effort. What is me sitting here cleaning a wheel in the grand terms of what we consider effort? I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of elbow grease, but I mean, I'm just scrubbing. Like, I'm not climbing ladders, I'm not digging ditches, I'm not shoveling shit. But still wears me out. And we're at the point in the time in the season where the grass grows. Grass grows fast, and I'm out here every other day, every 3 days, every 4 days, trying to do a little bit on the car in between cutting for a day or two straight. You know, like I said, we started cutting Sunday, put about 3 hours down on Sunday with Amanda cutting for me. I did a bunch of weed eating and stuff, and then yesterday I put another 5.5, 6 hours into it by the time it was all said and done, because when I ended the video, I still had to come over to the house and cut some more stuff and, you know, get that tightened up. So, you know, I was after it for another 30 minutes, give or take. So about 6 hours worth of cutting in one day, just sitting in the bacon-ass sun, covered in all the grass clippings. Now I'm going to complain. John Deere, holy shit. If you ever have the opportunity to buy a John Deere mower, like the Z375 or the 420 or whatever it is, don't buy it. Buy anything but one, because I'm going to be totally fully honest with you. My mower is the messiest, shittiest, hardest to use little piece of shit I've ever used on any mower. I made a mistake when we first moved down here, and I took our mower that we had down here, which was a Bush Hog branded, like 70 fucking inch monstrosity, big giant, like freaking 36 horse V-twin thing, and me not knowing anything about small engines, me not being down here long enough to watch Tristan fix all the stuff he's fixed and give me an idea of how to go about it myself and all these different factors, I fucked up and gave it to him. I just was like, hey man, can I just give it to you instead of paying you money for the diagnostic? And he wasn't like super car salesman excited on someone trading a Viper in who didn't know it was a Viper, but it was like definitely one of them things where I should have really thought about that, and I wish I knew the value of mowers that I know now then, because I should have never got rid of that thing. I should have never let it go. I should have kept it, and I should have slowly fixed it. And like when I first got the John Deere here, that thing immediately started giving us problems. Within the first 8 hours, it snapped a belt. And then within another 3 hours, it snapped a belt. And then you keep on trucking. By the time it hit 30 hours, I'd put 4 belts on it. Deck belts, mind you. It kept going back and forth from the dealer after that. It went from 30 hours to 150 hours. I put 7 different belts on it. Kept going back. Yard kept getting grown in and horrible, and that's why it's as bad as it is now. When we first moved down here, it was pretty grown in here and there, but it hadn't gotten to the point that it had gotten because they hadn't logged everything out. So we still had massive tree cover in a lot of areas, so the grass just wasn't thick like it is now. Once they logged everything out and they started letting sunlight hit more heavily, that's when like the super duper heavy growth, just massive type of brushes and plants and stuff started popping up, and it was just awful. You know, I slowly watched it happen after they logged out. Every time my mower would go to the shop, and then finally I started having to argue with him about, hey, this is affecting my lifestyle now. You know, I'm getting to the point where I can't walk my dog, I can't go out in my yard, I've got weeds and shit everywhere. Like, I'm having to cut, you know, a half an acre with a weed eater so that I could walk the fucking dog, and I'd have to like cut paths from the house to the barn with the weed eater, and it was getting ridiculous. It was absolutely astounding. And so I finally, after so many visits and them having it for weeks on weeks on weeks, I was like, look guys, I need y'all to do me like a real favor, and y'all are going to have to give me something to use, because me, like, going for a month at a time without my mower is hurting when I should be cutting weekly, and instead I'm barely even able to cut monthly. And I was also having at the time to go up to Amanda's grandma's house in Virginia and cut her grass once a week as well. And that was a damn struggle too, because her yard has some real elevation and a big lake in the back where it drops off real steep with a bank, and yeah, it was just a hell of a time cutting her backyard. But it got so bad where I actually had to go buy a mower secondhand off a Facebook Marketplace to go take up to her house and leave there, so that we had a dedicated mower to be able to cut her grass. Because, you know, it was just, I can't do anything with this, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, Grammy didn't really understand me telling her that the mower's at the shop and I can't do anything about it. Because she was the one that paid all the money to get it down here for us to be able to take care of the property. And it was like, you know, the problem was they bought it and I never had any part of it. I wouldn't have been trying to buy no $13,000, $14,000 commercial unit by any means. But I would have asked for a 60-inch unit at the minimum. Just because usually when you get up into 60-inch units, you're looking at a Kawasaki engine, which usually Kawasaki is some exceptional quality on the long end of things. But anyway, the mower kept breaking belts. Finally, I gave up. Me and the service writer guy got into a pretty good heated argument. And I ended up just eating it, and I brought it back home after they refused to work on it anymore. Wouldn't honor the warranty anymore, and I should have gotten a lawyer back then and lemon lawed it and had them give me a new one. But long story short, I ended up going another roundabout 100 hours, from 150 to 250, maybe 270, and it started popping belts again, left and right. And I was just like, man, these belts are $80 a piece. I can't afford to keep doing this. So I took it to John Deere, and they had a new service writer up there, and the guy was apparently a lot better. And the mower came back better this time. And that's cool. It's great that the thing's not snapping belts. It's great that I've been able to put, 70 hours on it since they repaired it. But, at the same time, I'm still waiting for that other foot to fall and it to snap a belt, and me have to take it back and give them another $300 for them to figure something else out. And it's like, I'm not happy about it in any means. John Deere, if you ever see one of these videos, please, for the love of Christ, stop selling that shitty-ass mower. Because my second thing is, now that the thing works, the deck design on it is so fucking awful. It's got deep cut deck on it, which is just a pressed steel deck. And it is, unless you've got that thing riding on the ground and you're wearing out the blades on the dirt, you are kicking up so much dust and clippings and shit just out from under it. And there's even holes on the top of the deck that aren't filled by anything, where little bits of shit just they just slowly work their way up and out and into the world. And it's just like, holy shit. And the fact that they wanted some like $4,000 after it was all said and done, for it to be such a disastrous just hunk of shit, puts a bad taste in my mouth. And I can't say anything good about John Deere at this point. And I damn sure can't say anything good about the quality equipment down here in Gates County, Sunbury. Can't. Sure, they finally fixed it, but because I waited so long and etc., it was not covered under warranty like the original stuff was covered. So I ended up having to eat $300, which I'm just really not happy about, because again, my mower never worked from day one. They can look back in the records of the store and they can see that I'd started coming in for that issue at 10 hours, and I feel like they should have honored their repairs not working, and they should have ate that, because that is a return. If this would have been the car world and I'd have been at Volkswagen and a car came in for an oil change and then, left and then came back the next day needing a motor and didn't have no oil in the oil pan, that's related. 18,000 miles later, maybe not, but I wasn't 18,000 miles later. I was just a handful of hours after, when I had given up trying to get them to fix it the first time. Come on, buddy. Golly dag. Check out what we got, though. We're almost an hour into a single wheel, but we've got from there, all the way to the wheel weight, just about, yeah. So about half the wheel on this outer diameter, and then 1, 2, working on 3. Yeah, we're getting there. No, it's not perfect, but hey, it's better than it was, and I'm stoked, because it means that this one being the worst wheel out of all of them, the other wheels should actually go a lot faster. Shouldn't be so abusive. Yeah. I'm about this. It's good stuff. It's amazing stuff. What the shit? Oh man, it's like magic. It's all of a sudden clean and looking damn good. Oh man. So, I will admit, the wheel is wet. So there's some potential for that to like haze to less of a shine when it dries. But I'm okay with that because less of a shine is better than, brake dust nightmares. Because, God, that was such an awful thing. But you saw it. We started off with an absolutely caked up, chunky, crusty sounding brake covered wheel. And now we have a clean wheel. Are there a few chips and things here and there on them? Sure. But it's clean. And that bad boy, I mean, that one's got a little bit of brake dust still left on it. This won't take anywhere near as long as this one took. Because like I said, this is the worst one. Walk around real quick. Oh, man. See, that one looks pretty good. And I know we're in the shade now. Yeah, that one looked all right. Yeah, this one has a little bit of some stuff going on, like around the valve stem and up in the corners of some of these areas. But that one on the passenger or the driver's side, that rear, that was truly was the worst out of the bunch. And I probably spent 20-ish minutes off camera tightening the last bit of that up. I actually resorted to my fingernail. Love being gross about it, but again, people ask me, why do you keep your fingernails longer? Do you do coke? And it's like, no, I don't do coke. Why? Do you have some? Anyway, one of them things comes in handy. Stuff like this. I can scrape shit. I can adjust small carburetors. I can pinch things off the ground. I can do a lot of shit. But like, look at that fucking difference. Like, I haven't put any brake dust on or any miles on it since I washed this wheel last. So other than just a little bit of surface dust from it sitting in the ambient air, there's no, like, gravel dust. There's no brake dust. There's nothing built up on this wheel. All I've done is idle this van in a couple of different places in the yard. And unless it throws off brake dust at 4 miles an hour, just coming to a brief, slow halt, then I can't help that. But like, look at how much more silver it is. Oh my goodness. It's like a different wheel. It's like a completely different wheel. Anyway, as I was trying to say, you can see I got this here caddy that we rinsed out in this, yesterday's video. Now, I'm actually going to switch to using this as a seat. My knees are killing me. Oh, goodness gracious me. Anyway, if I can get this thing super spiffy and cleaned up really nice, then there's a solid chance that when I post this thing on Marketplace, people will see it and they'll be like, oh, dang, maybe that's actually a nice van. Somebody took the time to go through it and do this and that. There's a few things that I need to do. I just need to check them. There's a clunk coming from both sides in the front end. Because it's both sides and it's bump related, I'm thinking I'm either actually going to need ball joints or I'm going to need strut mounts. And to be totally honest, the strut mounts make more sense. Look at me just hosing down everything. Just hosing it all down. Everything. Because why not? Everything needs a good rinse every now and again, right? Let's see, what settings do we have? Whoop, don't want that one. Here we go. Now we're getting some distance. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Look, we're even washing some bird shit off. Oh yeah. Oh, it's actually funny. I can smell it's either the wheel soap, which I don't think it is because I haven't smelled the wheel soap the whole time, or it was the car wash fluid that I used last time. I can smell because I never waxed this like I wanted to. I still want to pull my my polisher out and polish the van and like really, really, really give this thing a solid chance at success. Because, you know, look at how crispy just rinsing the dust off the wheel is. Like, oh my goodness, that's such a... You know, I'm not a big fan of minivans, and I'm damn sure not the biggest fan of like the Dodge Grand Caravan, but I'll be totally honest. Clean is clean, as I can't say that enough. If I polish this thing up and it rides around looking like it's wet like this all the time, brother, throw some extra tint on them windows. Get me some, I'd love to find some lowering springs for one of these. I've got this idea where I found this conversion chart where I can order springs based on the diameter, but that requires me to remove the springs from this to do it, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it, so if I'm not going to keep it, I'm not going to go through this process. But if I end up stuck with this thing, I'm thinking about lowering this, trying to find a set of charger wheels, throw some not crazy but decent speakers in the doors, and give me a nice fancy touchscreen radio, and maybe get some black housing headlights. I'm probably going to do a video on polishing these headlights up, because you can see they're right hazy. You can see through them. They're not terribly yellow, but they're pretty damn yellow. Like this one especially. You can see where the little water spots are. It's almost shiny there. But we'll do that on another day, on another video, because, you know, I like to break up what little bit of bullshit, boring content I can and spread it out. But golly, look at that thing. I'm going to get these wheels cleaned up, and then I'm probably going to do another wash on this bad boy at some point in the next day or so. I'm thinking probably Thursday or Friday I'm going to work on the Sentra. I don't think tomorrow I'm going to work on the van. I think tomorrow I'm going to work on cleaning again, so look forward to another cleaning video coming Friday, I believe. Or, well, yeah, it might be Friday when I post it, because today's Tuesday, and I posted Monday yesterday today. So yeah, it'll be like Friday by the time I start talking about the Sentra again, I think. But anyway, I kind of just wanted to address why I decided to give up on the Passat. It was not me literally giving up on the Passat and saying I don't want this car anymore, or I'm not going to do anything anymore. It's a strategic move for me to try and move forward beyond this problem. I've been stumped on it for months. I don't know what to do. So it's got to go to a professional to get a little bit of information so that I can keep trying. The van, I mean, I know vans are boring and whatnot, but let's be honest. Everybody likes watching somebody do a little bit of hard work. There's nothing wrong with watching somebody put in a little bit of effort. So, you know, thank you for watching. Hopefully you like and subscribe. Comment below what you liked, what you didn't like. If anything I said up there you disagree with or don't like or did like, let me know. Just be open. I'm open. I'll talk about anything. Holler at your boy. Love you back.